Thanks for staying with us. I'm Laura Ingraham in for Bill O'Reilly. And in the personal story segment tonight, this week in Washington, a group of very wealthy, very powerful far-left activists got together for a top-secret strategy meeting, and they didn't invite me. And according to reports, uber-liberal billionaire George Soros made it very clear he is not happy about the shellacking that Democrats took at the polls a few weeks ago. So despite the results, Mr. Soros, however, remains defiant, and he says, "We have just lost this election. We need to draw a line, and if this president can't do what we need, it is time to start looking somewhere else." So what's the next move for disgruntled liberals in America? Joining us from New York is former Bush press secretary Ari Fleischer, and with us in Washington is Joe Trippi, Fox News contributor and former campaign manager for Howard Dean. Gentlemen, great to see you. Speaking for the far left today, I guess, is you, Joe Trippi. What's going on with Soros? I mean, he put a lot of money into this this election. He's obviously supporting a lot of groups that are helping Democrats, and they got a pretty big blowout in the House of Representatives, at least. Do you think he's serious about this? Is this like a warning shot to Obama?
Maybe, but I think, look, what he's worried about is that Obama is going to do what Bill Clinton did at the end of in '94 when we lost the House, and try to start compromising and going down the middle,
like doing what the American people want.
Right, right. Well, exactly. I mean, I think that's what he's concerned about, and he wants to run he wants it to be a lot different, and it didn't work, in election day. It doesn't think the president fought hard enough.
He has a lot of money in this game, and he has a lot of influence because he has a lot of money. And Ari, look, we know that the Center for American Progress, which is a group that George Soros helps fund, very close to the White House, they basically put out a memo yesterday, the day before, about how the president can use his executive authority to basically do an end run around this new Republican-dominated House of Representatives, and obviously stronger Republicans in the Senate. So they're all scrambling on the left to see how to blunt this effect of Republicans. Are you surprised about this?
Oh, no, I'm not surprised. They want to try to figure out how to go around the will of the election any way they can. But, Laura, you talked about disgruntled liberals. Well, that's redundant. They are always grouchy about something. And here's the big thing, because you ain't seen nothing yet that they're going to be grouchy about. Just wait till July of 2011 when the president has to make the decision about withdrawing from Afghanistan. I wrote in the Wall Street Journal the other week, and I said that if there is not a meaningful big withdrawal from Afghanistan on July 11, the anti-war movement at the Democrat Party will very may, run a primary against Barack Obama. I can't see them winning. But, boy, it's a terrible spot for a president to be going into his reelection.
Yeah, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Look, there are legitimate issues here. If you're extending the Bush tax cuts, right, a lot of Democrats and progressives like myself would like the fight of tax cuts, of not extending the tax cuts for the rich. We want to make the case that no. But my point is that no. And Soros is saying, well, that's what we need. Somebody's going to put that up and fight for it. So it's not moving away from where the American people is. You've got to make the fight that you're going to fight for.
Right, but the left, obviously, it's like the conservative base of the Republican Party, which is more as the mainstream of the Republican Party today. But the left is going to say, look, lame duck session, you got to push the DREAM Act, you got to push Don't Ask, Don't Tell, you got to give us something before you go down this road of, at least I'm going to appear to be working with the Republicans, right? I mean, those two issues are going to be front and center.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's what they're going to demand that. I mean, they need action.
And actually, that's the problem with both parties right now, is there are going to be people in there demanding action on things that don't necessarily match up with where the All right,
let's move on to these interesting developments already for 2012. We knew this was going to happen soon, but now we have Sarah Palin out there, right? She does this interview with Barbara Walters, and she said that, look, I'm considering running for president. I'm going through the process of thinking about this. And Ari Fleischer, just her mentioning that she's considering it is driving all of these people on the left into this frothy frenzy. I love it. It's like, I like seeing them scatter every time she says something like this.
Well, she does attract ink, doesn't she? And, I just finished her book, too, which actually is a great read. But, what do you expect anybody to say who's thinking about running for president? I may run, but I know I'm going to lose? Well, of course she's going to say that. I think it's a wide-open question whether she does or doesn't. It looks like this Republican field is going to be totally wide open, very contrary to the history of Republicans. We almost always appoint whoever was in the on-deck circle from the previous election. This one, wide open. Who knows who's going to win it?
Right, Huckabee out there, Ari. Right. But Huckabee and Palin, they're going to go for the same vote.
Gingrich looks like he's in.
Trump said today that he might try to make running
today on China. I love Trump on China.
Right, and so
fantastic.
what you see is by having this wide field is Sarah Palin could get the nomination. I mean, she literally could pull it off.
Now, is that what you're hoping for, Joe Trippi? This is my sodium pentothal I'm putting in you. I'm injecting into you right now.
I think it's actually this is how the Republicans might ensure Obama's reelection. Absolutely.
You think Palin is the silver bullet for your reelection hopes?
No, because I think that might just get an independent like Bloomberg or someone else in the race. So we don't. This thing is going to be a wide open 2012 race right now, and it's not clear where the Republicans are going to end up for a nominee.
Now, Ari, you were just at the Big Bush Library dedication, and I know that was a lot of fun. Everyone got together and talked. Was there any scuttlebutt that you can share? You don't have to attribute it to anybody. What do the old Bushies think about the rise of Sarah Palin and her influence in the Republican Party? Anyone talking about it?
Well, you heard President Bush talk about Sarah Palin as very exciting, and I think a lot of Republicans agree with that. In terms of her electoral prospects, I think it's way too soon to guess. My take on it right now is she's got a lot to prove before she shows she has presidential mettle, but that's what a campaign is about, and that's what will be her task. For me personally, I'm looking for a brand new face in the Republican Party. The ones who intrigue me the most are Mitch Daniels of Indiana and John Thune of South Dakota. I'm keeping my eye on those two, and we'll see what the other a little more experienced candidates who have run and lost before.
Joe Trippi is mumbling something about Joe Miller over here. Are you mentioning Joe Miller? That's going to hurt?
Both of those would be a problem. Mitch Dan, I think those are both, both of them could be problems for Democrats in 2000.
Oh, interesting. Great to see you both. That's fascinating. I think the more the merrier. Get into the race. I love it. Coming up next, our congressional